Want to take a phone call?
Sure.
Maybe two.
Okay.
1-800-920-1140. My name's Jeff. Jeff, you're on with David Jason. Good morning. Jeff. Hefe.
Yes, good morning, Dave. You're as passionate as I am, but the reality is that in about 24 hours, you'll analyze and convey. But the one thing you didn't talk about with Malik is, when's the last time he played 82 games?
Let's answer that question. I don't know. Let me look. I'm guessing not recently. Let's see. 65, 72, 77, 76 last 4 years.
Durable.
Yeah. I mean, that's not 82, but you have like four guys in the NBA that play 82 games. Harrison Barnes is one of them.
Yeah, the chances of him playing regular and not getting hurt are very slim. I bet on the over. He's going to get hurt.
Well, I mean, played the same amount of games as Schroder did last year, and Schroder played 29 the year before. Well, let's add that in, another 70. Schroder's also fairly durable, but no better than Monk. They're about the same. I mean, I look, there's a lot of things about Monk or Schroder we could talk. I just don't know if durability is an issue really with Malik.
Oh, yes, it is. And it has been the last couple of years. But the fact of the matter is that it's got a way to get another player. Now, I think that's the end game is what we should be looking at is who the point guards are going to be available to build around in 2 years, because there must be someone he's targeting in a couple of years.
I guess.
I was not thinking of durability as the thing.
I
mean, he's missed some games, but
yeah.
He would have say the last 4 years, what?
65, 72, 77, 76.
So he would have qualified for all the awards.
Right, like I sorry. That's not, that's
not the reason
that's
or
not
a
the
reason to me.
Hello, Jason. Other Jason, you're on with Jason.
Good morning.
Hey,
TC was talking about needing the point guard, and I agree with TC. We definitely need a point guard. And Monk has openly said that he does not want to play the point guard. He would prefer to play the two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, ideally, yes, I would like to keep Monk. At least he'd come off the bench and back up Zach LaVine, but probably not going to happen. Here's the thing. As far as being competitive, having Schroder, if that's going to make the team better, I feel if we're in the playoffs, more quality players, higher quality players are going to want to come to a team that is winning. And in 2 years, we're dropping Zach LaVine. We're going to drop DeMar DeRozan. That's going to free up $900 million off the cap. And we can get the higher quality player, which in Sacramento, everybody knows we have to pay more to get higher quality players.
I honestly, I don't have a problem with that philosophy. He is correct that if you are in the playoffs and you're viewed as a competitor,
you're more desirable,
you're more attractive. I don't have any problem with that.
I just don't know if they're going to be that team.
My question is, are you getting off a guy who's 27 on a team-friendly deal, locked up for 2 more years for nothing? I mean, for no value. You're getting Dennis Schroder back, which, again, no disrespect. He's just this. We're not talking value here. What is if Malik Monk doesn't want to play point guard, which has he said that?
I don't know that he's verbalized that, but I mean, I think of Malik as a playmaker. That's different than being a point guard. But also, I hate to put facts in the way of this, but the playoff idea is a great concept. It's a great thought. You should have every goal of that. But Dave, the reminder, 18 of the last 19 years, they have not been in the playoffs.
That includes last year, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing teams a couple times there, but one time. Doesn't mean that's going to continue. Doesn't mean it won't, but this hasn't been a team that's lived in that range. They haven't been in that neighborhood. No. So,
and you think Dennis Schroder and Russ Westbrook are going to?
But they might. But to predict and say with certainty, this is a top 6 team. I don't know. And again, it's not to say Malik's the greatest player they ever had. I don't like what this premise is right now. Again, if it turns into something different, because it hasn't been finalized, if Monk nets them something else, some other assets, I'm still reluctant, but then you go, all right, I see a little bit of the vision here, and you're trying to add more assets and free up some things, and you did add a point guard. Okay. But what will the totality of this end up being is really what I'm intrigued by.
Russell Westbrook, by the way, did play 75 games last year, 68 the year before, 21 and 52 the 2 years before that. He will be 37 years old. November 37 in November.
I think, by the way, Russell Westbrook, if they do acquire him, is a guy that fits a lot of the traits that Scott Perry has said to us on the show and to the media in Sacramento. But, it's interesting on where he is in his career.
45% from the field, 32% from beyond the arc, 66% from the line. That's 45, 32, and 66 splits. 5 boards, 6 assists, 13 points a game last year for Russell Westbrook. To be fair, in 28 minutes a game, he was not playing 30 plus. Dino, good morning, Dean.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Good, brother. How are you?
Oh, frustrated.
Yeah.
But I don't normally call. I've listened to you guys for years.
Thank you.
But TC, basically, the whole 2-year plan, well, we have Malik under contract for 2 years. So what are we really accomplishing? At this point, it feels like the GM is intentionally going out there and grabbing a whole bunch of guys that I just hate watching playing basketball.
I hear you.
In a Kings uniform, part of me wants to throw up. The guy hasn't played defense since he left UCLA.
Yeah.
So, the Island of Misfit Toys idea, we've tried that for basically the better part of 20 years. It doesn't work. I would much rather have people here that I enjoy watching play, that I can be passionate about. Monk wants to be here. He's never had a home as far as his NBA career. He finally gets one, and basically we turned into the Charlotte Hornets West, as far as the way the franchise was run.
Yeah, and thank you, Dino. Been a while since Dino called in. Appreciate that. Used to hear from him all the time.
Yeah.
I understand too. There's going to be some people out there. I do, and I'm not going to come down on them whatsoever. I get it. Like when they say, "Who cares if the player wants to be here? It's a business. Like, what are we doing?" I hear that, and I don't entirely. I get it, and it's an intangible, and that's why it's hard to quantify. It matters, but to be clear, in the what matters tree, it's not a trunk, it's a branch. It matters if you're trying to build a culture. It matters when you're trying to convince other players to come here. You have, and again, this is where I nerd out a little bit, but it's the underbelly of how this league works. Agent relationships, which Scott Perry has a huge amount of. Player networking. I mean, again, just a tiny example. I don't know that Austin Reeves being friends with Jake LaRavia convinced him to go to the Lakers, but I'll bet you it helped. Certainly didn't hurt. And if you've got, I'm making this up now. I'm making up a straw man scenario, but Malik Monk comes here from Charlotte and the Lakers and enjoys himself and loves the community. And Malik happens to know a ton of players in the NBA. He's a great dude. And maybe he's in Cancun or on the golf course or wherever. Hey, you know what? Actually, man, I was not happy about coming to Sacramento. I kind of had to, but dude, it's been the best thing. And that. Again, on the tree of things that matter, it's low. It's a low branch, but you need all the branches you can get. These are intangible. So should that prevent you from trading a guy like Malik because he wants? No, of course not. Of course not. But if it's a tiebreaker, tie goes to the guy that actually loves and wants to be in Sacramento, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think here's the one thing I was thinking about too. I just feel like all of this for Scott Perry is what the organization has been guilty of. What I've been critical of in the past, Dave, is I feel like they've made mistakes.
Yes.
They've recognized it, and they've been chasing them, and they haven't been able to solve the mistakes. I think they're currently in one right now that I don't know how Scott Perry avoids, though, because the mistakes were made prior to him. I think this could be done differently. Had the Fox trade, either they waited, they traded differently, kind of made a plan to get a bunch of picks or younger players, but they didn't. And he's got a roster that I'm guessing he didn't love.
No.
And he's trying to retool it. But can you retool it while being competitive if that's the kind of the wish? It's tricky. It's not an easy job, but again, it's not done. It's not finalized, but just some of the things that are happening is like, oh boy, this doesn't feel like it's going down a good road.
We got to take a break, but Jason, I love what you said there. It really is a little bit like the Kings they're the player at the poker table everybody knows is trying to make back their losses.
I'll get it. I'll get it back on this hand.
I'll get it back in this hand. I would like to remind everybody when you're talking about staying competitive, and it's important to stay competitive and competitive and competitive, competitive. The Oklahoma City Thunder were 24-58 in 2022. 24-58. They were the second worst team in the Western Conference. By the way, Jason, you know the worst team in the Western Conference was? It's okay. I see you. Sound smart. We can sound smart.
Yeah.
Those guys, the Houston Rockets.
Right. But just as the third team that's down there is Portland.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you get there and you stay there. You can't get out of it.
That's right.
Those two did.
They
to
did.
Their credit.
Yes. That's the 1 and 2 seed in the Western Conference and this year's NBA champion. Now, we all know the Thunder were an artificial 24 win. Let's not get carried away. There were reasons they had, but that put them in a position to grab Chet Holmgren. That put them in a position to grab Jalen Williams. And 3 years later, you're an NBA champion. Yep. So, you don't. It's right there, man. And the whole group, of which there's like 12 people left, but they're still there and they're very loud. It's like, imagine not playing to win the game. I'm sorry, you're being short-sighted. Mm-hmm. We're all playing to win the games, but we just want to win a lot of them and a championship. I don't care about 30 wins, 40 wins. I do not care, and neither should Kings fans. And if you do care about 40 wins and you'd rather do that than 30 wins, then you deserve purgatory. You deserve it. You're asking for it. You're part of the problem. Don't excuse it, or we're just going to be in purgatory forever, which I guess is the point of purgatory. We'll take a break. When we come back, top of the hour, free agency moves. More on this at 1-800-920.